Hi, my dear students. Welcome to science class. In the previous class, we discussed about the nutrition, mode of nutrition in plants and animals, and digestive system, and remaining concepts are discussed in the previous classes. In this class, we going to know about the what is meant by respiration and types are there. What's meant by respiration and breathing? Respiration, it means we taking the oxygen and utilize for the what the blood is taking the oxygen and it reaches the cell. Then what is breathing means exchanging of gases. Here the respiration process in which the cells of an organism obtain energy by combining oxygen and glucose is called respiration. It involves breathing. There are two types of respirations are there. First one is aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic, it means nothing but the with the help of oxygen this respiration will be uh, produce the some products, and in anaerobic respiration without the oxygen means lack of oxygen. It is the process of producing energy in the presence of oxygen is called what aerobic respiration, and it is the process of producing energy in the absence or lack of oxygen is called anaerobic respiration. Means aerobic and anaerobic, compared to the anaerobic respiration the energy is more produced in a aerobic respiration. You already know about in your 8th standard. Okay, so respiration is nothing but the in which the cells of an organism obtain energy by combining oxygen and glucose is called what respiration. Then remember that aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic means with the presence of oxygen, anaerobic means without the absence of oxygen. When the glucose means C6H12O6 is react with the oxygen, it releases the carbon dioxide, water and energy. It's what this reaction shows the aerobic cellular respiration. Then reactants are glucose and oxygen, the products are carbon dioxide, water, energy. In an anaerobic respiration, glucose is released the ethanol and carbon dioxide and energy. Okay, the C6H12O6 is a glucose. The glucose is released the 2C2H5OH. C2H5OH is a ethanol, then carbon dioxide, then energy. Let us go to respiration in plants. Gaseous exchange occur in plants through first one stomata in leaves, lenticels in stem, then surface of roots. During respiration, plants absorbs oxygen and use them with glucose to create carbon dioxide, water and energy. In this reaction, water and carbon dioxide plus nutrients. Okay, it's less organic matter and oxygen. This is a breakdown of glucose by various pathways. Very important for your examination also. The glucose has a 6 carbon molecules in presence in cytoplasm. It releases the pyruvate, means it divided into pyruvate, 3 carbon molecules plus energy. It releases the pyruvate plus energy, and that 3 carbon molecules are divided into absence of oxygen in yeast, in muscle cells and in mitochondria. In a yeast, ethanol, carbon dioxide and energy is byproducts. In our muscle cells, lactic acid plus energy means muscle cramps has a lactic acid. Remember that points. And in a presence of oxygen in a mitochondria, the carbon dioxide and water plus energy will be byproducts. Then let us go to know about the human respiratory system. Oxygen rich air is taken into the body through the nose. The air is filtered by fine hairs present in the nose. From nose, the air passes through the throat to the lungs. In lungs, the air passage divides into smaller and smaller tubes and finally reach in alveoli. Alveoli means it separates the oxygen from the air. It is a balloon-like structure, means alveoli, which provide a surface for exchange of gases. The walls of the alveoli connect with blood vessels. It means the alveoli is a balloon-like structures are present inside the lungs. Means in our chest portion, the pair of lungs are there. Inside the lungs, the more than lakh. Okay, so alveoli are present. It's a balloon-like structure. The main function of this, they separate the oxygen from air. This is a diagram showing the human respiratory system. Means the first air is enters to the nostrils, nasal cavity, oral cavity, pharynx, epiglottis, larynx, then bronchus, bronchioles, then lungs, alveoli. So then oxygen dissolved in hemoglobin from alveoli and carried from lungs to cells in all body parts. The blood bring carbon dioxide from the cells release into alveoli. See here, the alveoli are present inside the lungs. Just see, observe this diagram. The pair of lungs are there. Inside the lungs, the alveoli are present. And it is a exam point of view. It is a very important diagram, asking in 3 to 4 mark. Human respiratory system. I already told about how the air is entered to the in our body from nostril to lungs. First one, the air is entered to the nostrils, nasal cavity, epiglottis, larynx, trachea, then bronchi, bronchioles, then alveoli. Then transportation in human beings. Transportation, it means to transport the some products. Blood is connective tissue in humans. It transport necessary substances to cells and transport metabolic waste product away from those same cells. The main components of blood are, means the blood consists of some components. The plasma, it is a yellow color fluid. It transport food, carbon dioxide, waste products, etc. Then red blood cells, RBCs, it contain hemoglobin which transport oxygen, and platelets, this help them in blood counting. And white blood cells, these cells fight against harmful bacteria, viruses and germs. The heart pumps the blood through the blood vessels. So here the main components of blood are plasma, RBCs, WBCs, platelets. Here remember this, the plasma is in a yellow color fluid and it transport food, carbon dioxide and waste products. Like that, lymph, another component is lymph. There is another type of fluid also involved in transportation. This is called lymph, so or tissue fluid. So here through the pores present in the walls of capillaries, some amount of plasma, proteins and blood cells escape into intercellular spaces in these tissues to form the tissue fluid or lymph. It is similar to the plasma of blood but colorless and contains less proteins. Lymph drains into lymphatic capillaries from the intercellular spaces which join to form large lymph vessels that finally open into the larger veins. See this, the blood types are A, B, AB, O. The four types are there. In that, the positive, A positive is that positive is called as a rhesus factor. A plus, O plus, B plus means B positive, AB positive, A negative, O negative, B negative, AB negative. Who can give to the blood and who can receive from the blood. So that chart you should be remember. Then heart is a muscular organ which pumps blood to all part of our body. It has 4 chambers. The heart is nothing but the muscular organ. It consists of cardiac, means it made up of a cardiac muscles. Then it has 4 chambers. The upper chambers are called atria and the lower chambers are called ventricles. Since the ventricles pumps the blood to the different type of, to the what different organs it walls are thicker than the atria. See here the human cross section view. So 4 chambers are there: left atrium, left ventricle, right ventricle, aorta, pulmonary arteries, then superior and inferior vena cava, septum, and the vena cava from lower body. This is a very important point of view for your examination. Okay, so here the heart consists of it is made up of a cardiac muscles. It show the rhythmic movements, left up. Okay, so contraction and relaxation. There are three types of blood vessels: arteries, veins, and capillaries. Okay, there are three types of blood vessels. Okay, so from these vessels, the blood will be flowed. Arteries carry blood away from the heart, and veins carry blood into the heart. Capillaries help in transporting blood into and away from the cells. Okay, so the three types of blood vessels are there: arteries, veins, and capillaries. Arteries carry a pure blood from the heart to all parts of the body. They are thick walled and do not have walls. Then veins carry impure blood from all parts of the body to the heart. They are thin walled and have valves. Then capillaries are very narrow blood vessels which connects arteries and veins together. The exchange of food, water, oxygen, carbon dioxide, etc. between the blood and cells take place through the capillaries. So the three the types of blood vessels and their functions. So if you know about this three blood vessels and this function, it means you easily know about the function of the heart, how the blood is circulated in our body, and how the heart show the rhythmic movements like that. Let us go to circulation of blood in body. Let us know about this concept. Then first one, how the blood is moved in a body. Then here the first oxygen rich blood enters into the left auricle from the lungs through the pulmonary vein. Then this oxygen rich blood enters the left ventricle through the bicuspid wall. Then left ventricle constrict. As a result, oxygen rich blood is pumped out of the heart. This oxygen rich blood reaches the cell through aorta and its branches. On reaching the cell, the blood exchange oxygen with that of carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide rich blood reaches the right auricle through superior and inferior vena cavas. Carbon dioxide rich blood enters the right ventricle through tricuspid wall. Then right ventricle constricts. As a result, carbon dioxide rich blood is pumped out of the heart. This carbon dioxide blood reaches the lungs where exchange of gases takes place. Thus this circulatory cycle repeats until we are alive. The heart expands. Students, remember this. Heart expands and contracts to receive and pump blood respectively. As blood is pumped out of the heart, the pressure exerted on the arteries. This pressure valve exerted on the arteries is called pulse. Remember this one word, pulse. Pulse, it means the pressure wave exerted on the arteries is called pulse. The pulse can be felt in any artery that runs close to the body. It can be detected easily near the wrist, sides of the forehead, neck, and ankles. You may record your pulse rate and compare it with the pulse rate of your friends also. This shall be very interesting activity. Okay, students. Then the heart and how the blood is circulated in a body. First one, the blood comes to the oxygen rich blood is enters to the, then how the circulatory system is done. Then know about the double circulation. What's meant by double circulation? The oxygen rich blood and oxygen poor blood are circulate in a heart two times. So it's called double circulation. Deoxygenated blood from the body is returned to the heart to be pumped to the lungs, and deoxygenated blood also. So heart of mammals, birds, amphibians, reptiles, and fishes. The heart, about that means what are the morphological features, what are the heart structures are present in the vertebrates. We are going to know about that. The heart in mammals and birds have 4 chambers, and the right and left sides of the heart is separated by a septum. This prevents mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. That septum is work like as a wall. Oxygenated blood and provides efficient supply of oxygen. This is necessary because they need more energy to maintain their body temperature. The heart is amphibians and reptiles have three chambered and allows some mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood because they do not use energy to maintain their body temperature. Their body temperature is the same as the temperature of the surroundings. And third one, the heart in fishes. Okay, fishes is nothing but the pisces. So have only two chambered heart body, and blood is oxygenated in the gills. What are the main function of gills? To separate the oxygen from the water. And fish want the molten gas. And next one, you know about the transportation in plants. How the essential components are transported in the plants. In a plant's transportation of materials like a food, water and minerals takes place through conducting tissues called xylem and phloem. Xylem transport water and minerals from the roots to all parts of the plant. It consists of xylem vessels and tracheids. Water and minerals enter to the roots by diffusion. Then due to transpiration, the suction force helps in the upward movement of water and minerals. See in this diagram how the minerals are transported from root to the tip of the tree. In this diagram you know about that. In a sun, from the sun the plants get a energy with the help of photosynthesis process. Again it wants a more energy, more nutrients from the soil, and the soil provides the major components like a essential components like a NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. That components are transferred from root to the tip of the tree. Okay, so water evaporates from leaf surfaces to the environment. Then second one, phloem. Phloem transport food from the leaves to the other parts of the plant. This process is called translocation. Okay, remember this. Phloem transport food from the leaves to the other parts of the plant. This process is called translocation. The phloem consists of sieve tubes and companion cells. Food from the leaves transferred to the xylem by the energy of ATP molecules. Due to osmotic pressure, water enters the phloem and help in the transport of food. See in this, sieve tubes are there. Okay, sieve tubes, sieve plates and companion cells. Sieve tubes, sieve plates, companion cells, and it is very helpful in transport the food materials in the plant. Okay, so next we going on know about the how to measure the blood pressure. The force that blood exert against the wall of vessel is called blood pressure. This pressure is much greater in arteries than in veins. The pressure of blood inside the artery during the ventricular systole is called systolic pressure. The pressure in artery during ventricular diastole is called diastolic pressure. Remember these two words, systolic and diastolic movement. The normal systolic pressure is about 120 millimeter per Hg, means hemoglobin, and the diastolic pressure is 80 millimeter of Hg. This is a diagram, means a BP apparatus. Okay, this is a BP apparatus. Stethoscopes are there to measure the blood pressure is measured with an instrument called sphygmomanometer. Okay, then next concept is excretion. In animals and plants, excretion is a process by which the waste products producing during metabolic activities is removed from the body. In unicellular organism, the waste products are removed from the cells into the surroundings by diffusion. In multicellular organism, the waste products are removed through specialized organs. Okay, so excretion is nothing but the process by which the waste products produced during metabolic activities is removed from the body. In unicellular organism, the waste products are removed from the cells into the surroundings by diffusion. So excretion in plants and excretion in animals. How we excrete the excreta from the body. So like that the plants also excrete the excreta from their body also. So let us go to know about that all in detail with the help of diagram. This diagram shows the excretory system in human beings. Just observe that The left renal arteries means left kidney, left renal vein, aorta, left ureter, vena cava, urinary bladder, then urethra. This diagram is very helpful for your examination. So two means pair of kidneys are there, means two kidneys are there, then left and right kidney. Again the aorta and vena cava is what it is attached with the heart, and main function of the kidney is what? The purify the blood, means removing the waste content are present in that blood, it removes and it converted into urine and it excrete. Then excretion, the metabolic activities in the body generates many kinds of waste. It is a process in which waste are removed from our body. It is another definition of excretion. And what are the types? Metabolic wastes, digestive wastes, then respiratory waste and nitrogenous waste we excrete this waste. First one is metabolic, digestive, then respiratory, then nitrogenous waste like urea, uric acid and water, etc. And the minute particles are there, minute structures are there in the kidney, inside the kidney. So that are called nephrons. So let us know about the nephron. Urine is formed in three types, means how the urine is formed in a kidney. So first one is glomerulus filtration, then selective reabsorption, then tubular secretion. In humans, nitrogen fixed are mainly in the form of urea. The urea is synthesized in the liver. The blood collects nitrogenous waste and other unwanted substances from tissues and circulates through the glomerulus. These wastes are filtered from the glomerulus into the proximal convoluted tubule. This process known as glomerulus filtration. Every substance present in the blood, both essential and non-essential, is filtered. Hence, this process said to be a non-selective. Then the filtered start moving through the proximal tubule. During its movement, essential substances from the filtrate and reabsorbed into the blood. This process is known as selective reabsorption. The filtrate now contains mostly water and urea. It passes through the Henle's loop, enters the distal evolutive tube, and lastly in a tubular secretion, when the filtered is circulated in the distal convoluted tubule, some important salts are actively added to it. This process is known as tubular secretion. The filtrated with urea and other waste materials passes through the collecting tubule and it is called as urine, and that urine is transferred, means a normal healthy adult excrete around 1000 to 1500 ml of urine per day. And this image showing about, this diagram is showing about the artificial kidney, means the process of hemodialysis. The kidneys are vital organs of survival. The several factors like infections, injury or restricted blood flow to kidneys reduce the activity of kidney. This leads to accumulation of poisonous waste in the body, which can even lead to the death. In case of kidney failure, an artificial kidney can be used. An artificial kidney is devised to remove the nitrogen waste products from the blood. Let us know about the excretion in plants. In plants, the gaseous waste products produced during respiration, means CO2, and photosynthesis, O2, are removed through the stomata. Excess water is removed through the stomata. This process is called transpiration. Some waste products are stored in the leaves and removed when the leaves dry and fall off. Some waste products are stored in vacuoles. Some waste products like gums and resins are stored in the old xylem cells. Some waste products are removed through the roots also. So like this, the excrete is excreted from the plants in the form of gums and resins also. Gums and resins. So remember this word. So plants also excrete the excreta in the form of gums and resins. So here they can get rid of excess water by the transpiration. Thank you.